This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews.
Welcome to another Saturday Morning TV Log, and this time around it's Pryor's Place, brought to us by Sam Murray Krofft Productions.
Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is going to be another underrated and rarely remembered Saturday morning show. It's Pryor's Place, starring funny man Richard Pryor, who I'm actually going to respectfully dedicate this in memory of him since it's been almost 20 years since he passed away. And I'm also going to do this to continue to mourn the passing of Marty Krofft, whom we sadly lost last November. Anyway, it was a children's television series that premiered on CBS in September of 1984. This would be the Krofft's second and only other show to be exclusively produced for the network since Far Out Space Nuts in 1975. Yeah, long before, well, even before CBS had hit with Pee Wee's Playhouse, and even long before we even got the crazy comedy of Everybody Hates Chris, focusing on the young Chris Rock, we had this. Now, despite a reputation for profanity that adults enjoy listening to for Pryor himself, the show was aimed at children. Now, the show was similar to other types of shows, most notably Sesame Street, and well, a little bit of Fat Albert, which that happened to have been canceled by the network that same year, but however was being shown in syndication. Like Sesame Street, Pryor's Place featured a cast of puppets, the Krofft puppets that is, hanging out and having fun in a friendly inner city environment, along with several children and characters portrayed by Pryor himself. So, well, it's not going to be that easy to talk about, but I am going to try and get through to to a different source than one of you to give me the heads up. Now, let me see here. Now, even though I will say that this was kind of early on when R-rated entertainment was translated into children's entertainment because this was before we even got the animated series of Rambo and RoboCop. But anyway, let me see. Now, it was kind of a little tough though, and what have you. Well, in 1983, Marty Krofft actually took a meeting with CBS Vice President of Children's Programming at the time, Judy Price, who suggested Krofft do a show with a recognizable star. So he brought up Pryor. Well, and according to Krofft, he said I said I would love to do a show with Richard Pryor because I think he's the funniest man in the world. Well, and Price liked the idea and said the network would give him a commitment if he could talk him into it. I knew that he was making a lot of changes in life and was concerned about his image. So I thought, well, Krofft said, he just might like the idea of doing something for kids. Yes, this was done years after Pryor's unfortunate, accidentally got burned in 1980, if you recall that, of course. I don't want to get into too much of the story and what have you. But even after Pryor had recently played Gus Gorman in the recent film Superman 3 the previous year, well, Pryor said he wanted to make something real positive that would be different for kids on Saturday mornings. So it came at a point in his life when he wanted to do it. So when you sit in a room with Mike Krofft, it's hard to say no. Now, the show kind of focuses on takes place in a neighborhood meant to look like Pryor's original hometown of Peoria, Illinois. Each week, Pryor would introduce topics like bullying, divorce, drugs, and then allow a juvenile cast, including a younger version of himself, played by actor Achille Prince, to play out the drama, as a character credited as Little Richie. Now, of course, he actually got to play several Now, of course, Pryor appeared as himself at the beginning and the end of each episode. He also got to play some of the characters seen around the neighborhood. The most notable ones included a derelict named Bummer. Of course, that's a guy who lives in the alleyway, and a saxophone player with dreadlocks named Chill. Some of Krofft's puppets would also make appearances. Those include some of the breads that are in the window, front window of the bakery, as well as little rats in the sewers, named Al and Margie. Sometimes they kind of show a little wind up toy rack heading for the sewer, kind of playing a little Jaws like music to it. Well, anyway, when it premiered, it immediately faced two substantial obstacles: the trend of live action series performing poorly on Saturday mornings and Pryor's history of mercurial behavior. That he had been frank about his struggles with drug abuse and had acted consistent of profanity, worried several CBS affiliates. Anyway, and that show was airing just as CBS was producing far fewer episodes of Captain Kangaroo, seemed to increase the contrast between Pryor and his kids show peers. Roughly 60% of CBS affiliates were wary of Pryor being a key host and what have you. Ultimately, 90% of CBS affiliates opted to carry the show when it premiered. So when it premiered, it became a modest success and what have you. And well, so it did all right and what have you. The show ended in December of 1984 after a total of 13 episodes were produced and aired. Now, after that, the show had never been seen again, not even in syndication or even on Family Channel Freeform, which that was probably one of the only networks I knew of that carried that would re-air some of Krofft's material. Not even TV Land would even show it, even though they showed several of their stuff. But in the late 90s, Rhino Home Entertainment actually released 4 video cassettes, each containing one episode. That was the only way you could find them, but those things are out of print, and that probably would be pricey. However, however, you want to see this show? No problem. Just as of probably last year, episodes of Pryor's Place have been popping up on YouTube on the official Richard Pryor YouTube channel. Just look up Pryor's Place or the official Richard Pryor YouTube channel. These have come up more recently and what have you, aside from his comedy acts and the short-lived primetime series he did in '77, The Richard Pryor Show. And I found some episodes, and these are episodes I haven't seen because I've never actually seen Pryor's Place. Now, years back, I did see one episode on YouTube, and it was episode number 6, Sex Education, which featured some guest appearances from one of the few people who liked Pryor's comedy, the late great Robin Williams. Also, baseball star Ron Sy. Or was it Say? I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. But anyway, the reason why I never saw Pryor's Place was, unfortunately, when the show premiered, it aired in the 10:30 time slot, which was right after the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show, which was in its last season on the network before Bugs Bunny and the gang went to ABC the following year. That's because another African American star was on at the same time, and that was Mr. T on NBC. So henceforth, I never did get to watch Pryor's Place. But thanks to YouTube, and I can also say there are some episodes available, more episodes on the Internet Archive. That's probably one of the only other places they got probably the almost complete series. One episode's kind of missing though. Now, of the episodes that I watched, I saw the very first episode, High Noon at 5:30, which was about bullying. Then the next episode, To Catch a Little Thief, which was actually intended to be the series pilot, as a matter of fact. and it featured Sammy Davis Jr. guest starring. Episode 3 is on here, Love Means Never, Being Sorry You Didn't Say It, which will be the first of a few episodes to feature Marla Gibbs, who, of course, you may know her of the Jeffersons fame, which was also in its final season on CBS. And yeah, yeah, she appeared in several of these episodes as Little Richie's teacher, Miss Stern. And then episode 4, Voyage to the Planet of the Dumb, which featured Pat Maria right after he did The Karate Kid. The other 2 episodes that are on YouTube include episode number 10, The Show Off, which featured a guest appearance by Willie Nelson as well as the late great John Ritter, who unfortunately they had to shoot another scene with him so he could meet Pryor because he didn't get to see him in his actual appearance and what have you. And the other is episode 11, Cousin Rita, where Kim Fields, you know, Tootie from The Facts of Life, plays the titular character in that. Now, aside from Pryor and Achille Prince, there was, well, one of the more recurring characters I know of that appeared more than any other was Cliffy McGee, who played Richie's friend Wallace Walker, or Wally for short. Now, aside from other people I've mentioned, let's see. Other people guest stars have included Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Scatman Crothers. Shirley Hemphill also appeared in Sex Education. You may remember Shirley of What's Happening fame. Of course, the following year she would be back as that character in What's Happening Now. Pat McCormick of Big and Little Enos from Smokey and the Bandit appeared in Voyage to the Planet of the Dumb. Jeremy Miller, who this was just right about before he actually made with his role on Growing Pains, appeared in Sex Education. Let's see. Big Mustache Flame Man, late great Rip Taylor, appeared in Sex Education as well. Lily Tomlin, a few years after doing 9 to 5, guest starred in Cousin Rita. And also Henry Winkler as well. And there were lots of others and what have you. Now, fun fact, other recurring cast members had appeared, including Patty Maloney, who had recently played the alien character Honk in Far Out Space Nuts, and even the small I apologize for saying that, Tony Cox, who you may have seen that guy in films like Me, Myself, and Irene, Leprechaun 2, let's see, date movie, epic movie, Bad Santa, yeah, plus a lot of others. So anyway, and there were lots of others and what have you. But anyway, I'm glad to have found Pryor's Place on YouTube. I may go to the American Archive to check some of the other episodes out, but I'm sure those will surface on the official Richard Pryor YouTube channel sometime in the future. But I'm going to say, if you're curious to know, well, check out Pryor's Place. Just look it up on YouTube and find the official Richard Pryor YouTube channel, and you should have no trouble finding it. Oh, one other thing I almost forgot to mention. It also has a pretty catchy smooth sounding theme song done by Ray Parker Jr., who also guest stars in an episode. He actually made a guest appearance in the show off as well. Of course, Ray Parker Jr., who had more recently had a success with the theme to the Columbia Pictures release Ghostbusters that same year in the summer. So yes, I almost forgot that, but yes, you'll know that Ray Parker Jr. does the theme song to Pryor's Place. It's a pretty good song and what have you. Maybe not quite close to as good as Ghostbusters or some of the other stuff he did before that song, even with his own band Radio. I'm just having some fun with you. Just through that and see if you were paying attention. But I'm serious about the rest of it though. if you're into maybe Sesame Street or maybe or Fat Albert or maybe something like that, or maybe some of the Krofft shows, then I think you might want to give Pryor's Place a maybe just one try and what have you. You might like it. Or if you are a die-hard Richard Pryor fan, you're curious to know what other family-friendly stuff he did, even after Superman 3. Well, this would have been the first time because before Superman 3, he actually did make appearances in some skits on Sesame Street and also made a cameo as the balloon vendor in the Muppet movie. But anyway, Pryor's Place, not bad of a show. Short lived though. Now they were wanting to do a second season, but Pryor decided to not go on and what have you. Because they were thinking about, and guess like Ned Beatty, I believe. Was it Ned Beatty? Oh dear. I I I could be wrong though. Well, I do know they want Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd to appear on. But anywho, but like I said, it's pretty tough to figure out some of these because I read or heard about these in. Okay, wait, not it was Warren Beatty they wanted, not Ned Beatty. Oops, my mistake. Oh, the name kept slipping my mind. Apologies. So anyway, like I said, if you're into some of those Krofft shows, or maybe or if you're a die-hard Richard Pryor fan, and you're curious about him doing a kid show, well then I'd say give Pryor's Place a watch. So that's going to do it for this Saturday morning TV log on Pryor's Place. What did you think of the show? Did you ever watch Pryor's Place as a kid, or did you ever get a chance to watch some of these episodes, maybe on YouTube or somewhere? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me later tonight when I give you a re-review of Footloose. Yes, I'm doing that. If you're I will be reviewing Man Web, which I'm going to see today, but that's going to come up later on next week, okay? Good. Thanks for your understanding. So anyway, if you like this, consider checking out some of the my Saturday morning TV logs of these other shows direct from the Krofft brothers. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday morning TV log I did on the show that actually put them on the map, HR Pufnstuf from 1969. Or if you'd like, go to the upper right hand corner, excuse me, to see my Saturday morning TV law on the original Land of the Lost, which they happened to replace the show in the summer of '85. Or if you like some maybe a little something with Richard Pryor, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my re-review of Superman 3 from 1983, and the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV log, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV log is
Ricky Rocket.
So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.